put your hands together for our next speaker from the Colorado Times Recorder, Logan Davis.
Afternoon, everybody. First order of business, let me see those fists in the air. Beautiful. My name is Logan Davis, and I'm glad to be here with you today. I'm an advocate, writer, and researcher. For the last decade or so, I've specialized in right-wing extremism. What it is, where it comes from, and how to fight back against it. As an expert in that subject, I want to tell you that what you are doing here today matters. It works. In this exact moment, you are engaged in one of the methods that we know can be effective in pushing back against the forces attempting to warp our democracy, and I thank you for it. These days, research and reporting occupies most of my effort for our democracy, and I've been incredibly fortunate to find a home for that work at the Colorado Times Recorder in Denver. I firmly believe that journalists who share their viewpoint are more trustworthy than those who pretend not to have them. Something the local Gazette strongly disagrees with me on. I see no value in taking a view from nowhere, or in documenting all of the facts but failing to reach any conclusions. Regardless of viewpoint, though, the foundational element of good journalism and advocacy is the same. It is a basis in fact. I believe it is a progressive act to describe the world as it is, not simply as we wished it would be. Because if we cannot get our minds around the present, we stand no chance of building the future. Today, I want to share with you some of the important facts of our present reality, not just as Americans, but as Coloradans. Facts that I have written about at length, thanks in no small part to the courage of many in this crowd. It is a fact that this nation was founded on the same fundamental statement as this rally: no kings. And it is a fact that that foundational principle is now under threat. It is a fact that Donald Trump threatens our rights, our freedoms, our system of government, and our way of life. And it is a fact that he is not unique in that. That the threat does not stem from him alone or from him personally. That we are not simply opposing a man, but a movement with the same goals. And it is a fact that that movement has not been confined to the Beltway. That its tendrils have extended well outside of Washington, D.C. That many of them are present here in Colorado. For the last few years, I found myself returning to Woodland Park, just up the pass, over and over again in an effort to chronicle those tendrils of the movement against democracy. And what I have found there has filled me with dread and hope in almost equal quantities. The dread came first, as I interviewed locals, sifted archival documents, and came to understand what was really happening. The small school district just uphill from here, I found, was selected as a testing ground for that movement against democracy, as an experiment in conquest. I found that a coalition of think tanks, right-wing consultants, and Christian nationalist organizations had conspired to seize control of the district and use it as a test case not just for new curriculum, but new modes of governance and new restrictions on teachers. Worst of all, I learned that they were succeeding and that students, teachers, and parents were paying the price. In the midst of that dread, the hope took longer to settle in. But when it finally did, I realized that Woodland Park is not just a test case for the dismantling of democracy, it is a test case for the defense of democracy. As turmoil has consumed Woodland Park for the last 4 years, relationships in the town have shifted. Old friendships have ended, but new ones have begun as well, built around a common cause. And in those friendships, the town has found its voice to fight back. Amid an unrelenting onslaught from billion-dollar foundations and a hostile school board, locals have fought back at every turn. They organized themselves. They learned how to file records requests. They launched a blog. They found others in their midst who felt the same way, and they got stronger. Without outside money or mega donors or consultants or infrastructure, they have stood their ground. The fight for the future of Woodland Park continues. But as I tell local activists as often as possible, that is a victory. If it weren't for their actions, the fight would have been over years ago. The same is true of the fight for the future of Colorado Springs, the fight for the future of D11 and D20 and D49. The same is true of the fight for the future of the United States. Of all of the facts I have chronicled in my writing, this is the most important one. It is a fact that successful resistance does not come from DC. It does not come from Denver. It does not come from the consultants and congressmen in suits. It comes from us. It comes from the space in between us that we are able to fill with dreams and visions of a better future. It is a fact that no one can resist authoritarianism alone, that relationships and community are vital components for the preservation of democracy. It is a fact that protest can work, that refusing to quiet down and accept the new reality can have reality-changing powers of its own. And it is a fact, one I try to remember every day when I wake up and every night when I go to sleep, that no regime has ever lasted forever. Together, we will see the end of this one. I thank you.